fucking baby. We are back. We're back, and Bitcoin's at a whole new fucking universe right now, getting up to a high nearly of 80,000 bucks in this morning. At least that's what I saw when I woke up. 80,000 highly inflated US dollars, that is, of course. But hey, I'm fucking happy about it. I think a lot of people are happy about it as well. And that's what matters, right? It's all about the vibes, all about the feelings, right, bro? Anyways, there is plenty to discuss today. I think a lot of people are rightfully lamenting, oh my God, I missed the rally. I didn't buy the exact low, so I didn't buy anything at all. Thus, I am positionless and I don't know what to do. So in today's video, we're going over, of course, some areas of interest for some pullback action, of which I do think Bitcoin is inbound here. Actually, in fact, I do think that the short-term rally is indeed over, and we'll be showing proof of that throughout this video. But other than that, do I think that Bitcoin is going to stop here for forever? No, of course not. I do think Bitcoin has indeed done pretty much everything that I need to see in order to confirm a reversal. Obviously, the monthly time frame still won't close until the month's end, so we've got another, like, I don't know, 8-9 days left. But realistically, everything else has more or less shown us the way at this point, and I'm looking at that as a more or less good thing. I see a lot of familiar faces here. I see Mr. Cave Caretaker. Good morning to you, man. Manticore TA, been a little bit of time, but good to see you as well, sir. Dr. Doggy, great name indeed. Rob Willage, Bill Norblatt, Blue Mountain Fire, also known as Blue Mountain State, one of my most favorite shows of all time, man. A fucking phenomenal show. Does everyone even remember that show? There's Blue Mountain State, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I don't know, Eastbound and Down. Those are like three of some of the best shows of all time. Of all fucking time, indeed. Anyways, 1236N, Pisa, Helishwan, Durian Rambotan, Freddie M, Neil Codden, and Arib, Skate Steve. Fuck yeah, man, and Do It Wit. I see you over there in Lutfi Maradova. I do want to say a massive thank you to Do It Wit. That was a very large super chat, man. As always, it's all good, sir. I appreciate it. You go on to say, thanks for your analysis, Krown. I shorted Bitcoin at the 200-day moving average, and closed it for a small profit. There we fucking go. Yeah, I remember when you asked about that on Wednesday. And yes, this is this is obviously after the fact right here. If I can actually show you the chart right here, you can see Bitcoin blew right through it on a daily closing basis. And that's typically what does happen on these first major tests to the 200 simple after being away from it for more than 6 or 7 months. In fact, I've actually even done a study on that too. I don't know if we need to necessarily go on it on this video, but I mean, it is fun to look at, so perhaps we'll do that as well. But anyways, let's get over to the opener right here, because Bitcoin has lots of things going on right now. The move, the coil, the promised, the delivered in days, indeed. We do see an extreme move right here based off of extremely low volatility levels that we have seen really throughout the past 2 to 3 months, as well as a volume drought. So you got volatility low plus volume low. And I mean, I think realistically, there's just like no one fucking paying attention to this market is what it felt like. But anyways, 3 weeks ago, the $62,500 floor held with its test. That was big for us here. Monday, the radar said 14 for 14 coil guaranteed a 50% move within 90 days without naming the direction. Yeah, that went a lot more. Of course, that was a median. We are looking at averages now, which is actually closer to 50%, and Bitcoin kind of inching its way towards there, I suppose. Anyways, Tuesday named it 64,515. That was a closure and reclaim above the revenue ribbon midband for the people who've been following along with these streams now. That was big. Obviously, Wednesday then confirmed it through the 50-month, through the 50-month EMA with 7 out of 8 of the higher term time frame stochastic momentum engines to the upside. We saw the daily, the 2-day, the 3-day, the 5-day, the weekly, the 10-day, and the bi-weekly. And now we're going to see the 3-week and monthly actually follow through as well, very likely. But yeah, that was another big one for saying, hey, we're probably looking at another 20 to 35% move from here. And so far, so good, I suppose. Anyways, high of 79,511 for today, and trading at about 77,000, 77,200 as of this exact moment. But realistically, the question today is, what do you do if you miss this movement? And ultimately, the real answer is chase it with all you can. Leverage your longs, fucking take out loans and long your loans, and then take out a credit card on your fucking loan, pay it off with another credit card, and take even more government money on. Apply for fucking food stamps at the same time to put all of that towards Bitcoins, because if you can buy fucking junk food, you could also buy Bitcoin, which makes sense. Anyways, no, I'm kidding, actually, if you can fucking tell, because maybe you're a lobotomized moron. But if you're not a lobotomized moron, you already know, yes, these moves, typically do retrace. And when they do retrace, they actually do have a pretty uniform retracement that we've seen in the past. And more importantly, they are typically quite violent. So I do think that a little bit of patience here will go a long way. As always, Bitcoin likes to play those snapback rallies in which you get these really, really impressive rallies followed by incredibly nasty, violent drawbacks. But ultimately, those are opportunities. And I do think that we're going to see one of those, I don't know, probably next week, hopefully next week or over the next 2 weeks, maybe early September is where we start to get that. But anyways, we do obviously have the fourth ever 200-day reclaim for Bitcoin here after being away from it for more than 6 months. So the first daily close back above the 207 moving average, after 6 months. 3 priors in all of Bitcoin's history was, of course, the June 2015 low, the April 2019 low, the January 2023 low. And each one, the reclaim followed, obviously, the end of the bear market bottom and did promote some, pretty significant price to the upside. If we're going to look at some stats right here, if we go off of the median, just 1 month later, up about 14.25%, or a little bit more than that. 6 months later, the median was about 64.5% up from there. So putting that into context with Bitcoin right here, we could go off of the 200 moving average, and that was again 54. Yeah, that was 64. Oh dear Lord. Okay, we're gonna need some more charts here. It's off the fucking charts. Oh God, what's going on? We can see, yeah, okay, that's 40. Okay, we're gonna need way more charts here, actually. In fact, holy shit, man, this is getting out of control right now. But that would put a median. I mean, Bitcoin's back in 6 digits. Hopefully, not complaining about that. But yeah, that would be at about 110 to 115,000 US dollars. Again, variance around these numbers, and I do expect the early days in Bitcoin are, we're not going to see returns like that any longer. But hey, stats are stats, and ultimately, right now the trend is your friend. And the trend is to the upside on at least the daily time frame, not necessarily there just yet on the weekly time frame. But I do want to once again acknowledge the major volume bars right here. Breakout is real, and now let's get into the real topic of today, which is, of course, if you miss this rally, where essentially would I be looking for to get into a position if I was of that sort? And we can see some super obvious right here on the weekly time frame. I'm going to put on just 2 major moving averages. They are extremely simple. They are the yellow 21 EMA and the green 55 EMA. And you can see thus far, Bitcoin has found its high more or less at that green 55 EMA on the weekly time frame. And that is, by the way, where Bitcoin's first move found its first pullback after the previous reversal back here in 2022. You can see that first test into the green 55 EMA, rejected, pulled back. Bitcoin got down to the 21 EMA, the yellow moving average right there. And then that was a beautiful, long-term entry. If we go back to the previous cycle to that would be 2018, 2019. What do you know? Similar thing over here. Bitcoin gets its first test up to that green 55 EMA, spends 1, 2, 3, 4. And on week number 5, it does bust through, but you can see about 3 to 4 weeks of consolidation right there. It didn't officially retest the 21 EMA, but it got damn close right there. That's kind of what I'm looking for here too. Anyways, of course, we go to 2014 and 2015 as well. Very similar thing over here. This one rejects that first pass on the green 55 EMA after the low was in. It comes all the way down and then some below the 21 EMA. And of course, that was, again, a major opportunity. I would say maybe that's more of a black swan over there, or, a bit of an outlier, but ultimately, it did matter. So in this case, if we go back to our current times, we can see Bitcoin playing off that green 55 EMA, good, which is 78,000 bucks, basically more or less. So I don't really expect Bitcoin to be closing above there by the end of this week, or even the end of today, because today is the closure for CME for the weekly, and then you got the weekly for spot price action on Sunday. But I would be looking for Bitcoin to then come back down over the next week or two, maybe 3, 4, whatever it ends up being, and trying to find a low somewhere around, maybe not exactly 2, but somewhere around that yellow 21 EMA, which right now is 69,540. That obviously will change once we get into the next week open, because it will very naturally rise up because Bitcoin is now, above it. So that average goes up. So it gets pulled up a little bit. Maybe it's going to be somewhere around like 70,500 or 71,000 bucks. So somewhere around there, if Bitcoin did have like a quick stab down, on like what is going to be an incredibly scary and ugly nuke candle. But if that were to happen, it's probably gonna be an opportunity. Anywhere to low 70,000 bucks is fair game, in my opinion. Now, we could also expand this to one step further. We could use a couple of different moving averages, same sort of interpretation here, in that we look for price to kind of play between them. And that would be the blue 377 EMA for the daily time frame, and the daily 200 moving average right here, which is a little bit lower than the weekly, but that one will respond, I guess, technically a little bit faster because you're getting an update on this every day. And that one is currently at just under 69,000 bucks. So I'd be mindful of somewhere down around here, low 70s is, would be, in my opinion, a good do. And more or less, I'm bullish as long as Bitcoin is above that daily 200 moving average. Although I do think that the short-term momentum of this current rally is probably done for, for new highs in the short term here. Can I be wrong on that? Yes, I reserve the right to be wrong about everything at all hours of the day, at all times of the day, on all time frames, and literally everything in my life, even on my notion of gravity. But well, hopefully not, but at the same time, I'm just going off of what history has taught us here. Also, I want to acknowledge something else right now, too, which we have not brought up, I don't know, in a long time. And that would be the 4-hour RSI. We really don't even look at a 4-hour time frame all that often on this channel anymore. But the 4-hour RSI got up to probably one of the highest reads I've ever seen ever for Bitcoin, which is currently at 94.25 almost. So I've drawn a red horizontal line right here. And realistically, I don't even think there's been a time in the past 10 years we've even seen that exact level hit or even above. But when we see that, levels that are similar to that, like 91, which is crazy enough, by the way. So I'm going to mark off that right here because I've actually done a little bit of a documentation of the previous attempts around this region. We'll look at what typically happened after the 4-hour RSI got to those levels. But again, pulling it back through here, I'm already to 2020. It's still not there. This one over here in April of 2020 as well gets a little bit closer, but still not quite there. Of course, going even further from there, I'm just making sure that everything is good on the comments as well. We do have Tone Lock calling for $50,000. That's right. It's happening exactly on October 10th as well. I read it online. Anyways, a close one right there. This one actually is about the closest. It's still a shade off, but yeah, really fucking extreme. And if we go even further than that, I don't think, well, no, we're in 2017. We can still go a little bit more here. Let's do one right here we actually literally can't go any further back than January 2017. The 4-hour dildos run out because I think you only get like 20,000 bars with my plan. But anyways, let's go over the results. Okay, what happened over here in 2019 April? You see a massive explosion on the 4-hour RSI. Bitcoin trades sideways for the next week or two. It actually does make some new highs there, yes, but more or less it's consolidation for the next, actually this was your 3-week-long consolidation. And you did get price action below that initial read as well. So good shot. You will be able to get things lower. Over here, June of 2019, that was effectively the high of that summer rally for that intra bear market, or not necessarily intra bear market, but intra transitionary market rally. Bitcoin came down sniffly from there, as you can see. Of course, going back to 2020 April, again, hits around that same level over here. Again, none of the previous reads have been this exact high, but this one trades sideways for, God, man, about 3-4 months actually. And yes, you do get lower than that initial read too. And then of course, over here in December of 2020, again, similar thing, one of the highest reads ever, but trade sideways for 2 weeks. Yes, you get lower and then you go higher. So ultimately, sorry, there's maybe one more example over here. Or is there one more example? Sorry, there is actually perhaps not one more example. No, there is. It's right here, in fact, right here, similar to what we looked at on the weekly. It's in fact the same price action. Again, similar level, trade sideways, a little bit lower, but yeah, it was upwards and always from there. So what am I trying to say? Whatever pullback Bitcoin gets here, I do think is for buying. I do think Bitcoin is going to ultimately go higher, and this is an opportunity. And if we go to our current price action, and yeah, actually we do have a couple more iterations right here, but same thing. You already get the idea. I'm fucking splitting hairs at this moment. But yes, going back to our current price action, if I can get all the way over there, what does that essentially amount towards? A Bitcoin pullback, maybe you get a crazy one down to $70,000. Maybe it's only like $75,000. I don't know, but anywhere below 75, in my opinion, is probably good. Long-term Bitcoin is very likely to go higher here. Another thing that I'm looking at is, of course, the daily 5 EMA, the red moving average right there, the reconnect. Bitcoin almost always reconnects with this moving average. In fact, I've done a study on it over here. And if we look at any daily candle in Bitcoin's history, 73% of the time, it does reconnect with the 5 EMA officially. If you do go more than that, to 2 periods consecutively not reconnecting with it, it goes up to about 70%. So again, can it go for more than that? Yes, we have seen a maximum ever of 7 disconnects, but it's unlikely. And ultimately, I would be looking for Bitcoin to come back down and test around that daily 5 EMA, which right now is about $71,500. And that one's going to rise up a lot, like very, very quickly, by the way. But I'd be looking for Bitcoin on this pullback to meet at least that, because we have seen a disconnect now for sorry, have we seen a disconnect at all? In fact, yes, we saw a disconnect yesterday, but not the day prior. So we have potentially 2 days going on right here. So I do think you're going to get a weekend pullback. I do think you're going to see Bitcoin reconnect at least with the daily 5 EMA. Right now, it's very low. I'm not saying that Bitcoin necessarily has to come this low. Like, it's gonna rise up once we get the next daily closure, obviously. But that would be another major area of interest depending upon where that comes in around. And I'd basically be looking at it as a zone between the weekly 21 EMA at about 71,000 bucks, probably where it's going to end up, and the daily 5 EMA, which probably rises up to like 73 and a half by Saturday, Sunday, depending upon how crazy this rally gets today. This is a fucking crazy rally, man. This is among the more crazy rallies that I've seen for Bitcoin. I mean, shit, this is in terms of just nominal gains, that's probably got to be like one of the biggest 2-day gainers right there. But anyways, moving on from there, let's go check out the revenue ribbon and see if we got anything new over here. Bitcoin is on the weekly time frame reclaiming the mid band, so kind of a good sign. And if it does basically close anywhere above about 72,500 bucks, I kind of expect it to play in this upper band one here, basically bouncing off at most to the upside, over the next couple months, about 87,000 bucks, and likely holding the line on a weekly closing basis, the bottom side of lower of upper band number one, which is about 76,500 bucks. Again, that's on CME. Obviously, daily time frames, that one's going to be all the way in crazy zones right now. And then we should look to the 3-day, sorry, not the 3-day, but the 3-week time frame, because the 3-week time frame is closing today, in fact, for CME. So let's go over to that as of right now. We did go over that earlier this week, and we identified that there is potential for bullish divergence, or there is bullish divergence, I should say, playing out. We've already seen it play out. Caretaker's RSI, once again, showing you the way. Even on a 3-week fucking timer, if you blink your eyes, you might miss it. You might indeed miss it. But yeah, that yellow 21 EMA target, which is a general target that I typically have from that signal, has indeed been met. And again, that is where Bitcoin's finding its first pullback on this move. But wait, there's more, in fact, because we go back on over here to the 3-week time frame and look at the stochastic oscillator, we can see that the stochastic oscillator is crossing to the upside, and it will finish to the upside because CME closes today for the 3-week time frame. And if Bitcoin is just remaining about $8,000, or sorry, if Bitcoin just doesn't have an $8,000 dump by end of day and finishes the day above 69,500, again, another good sign going on right here. Historically, these turns in these levels have marked previous macro lows. And as we've gone over in the past as well, whenever we've seen the bi-weekly Krown trading stochastic, a little bit of a different indicator right here, but also important, whenever we've seen it get into this crazy zone, the extreme bearish control zone, and then cross the slower moving oscillator, these have all been previous macro cycle lows, which I'll mark off with the green vertical bars right there. The macro cycle low was already in actually on all those ones. So again, we are seeing a continuation of this analysis. We are continuing to see, we're probably going to see this thing continue like much further from here. But like I said, this next week, I would certainly be defensive, maybe even the next 2 weeks of a pullback, and then perhaps try later to the upside in September. Something like that would make a lot of sense to me. Other than that, is there anything else that I want to speak about here? We got the LTI. Obviously, I mean, this is now hindsight, but we were calling this out in real time as well. If you've been watching this channel for, especially like the last 6 months, we've been getting all the strong buy signals that we typically get on the macro lows. And what do you know? The strong buy signal that happened a few weeks ago, that one essentially was, in hindsight, an amazing buying opportunity. This one, again, is a part of the LTI package. You can get all my macro setting lows for Bitcoin, specifically on what I actually used to buy. In fact, I'm going to do a little bit of that right now. It's the daily DCA right now for the LTI. That's in the description below as well. But time to buy 100 buckaroonies of the old coins right there. We'll bid 77, I don't know, 320, because that sounds like a good number to me. It's buying 100 USDC. As always, I'm buying 100 bucks of Bitcoins per day because, well, I'm in accumulation mode, and I'm doing it on Coinbase because with my show link in the description below, you get 80% off of spot trading fees. So perhaps one of the cheapest places to buy the old coins there. Other than that, let's check out some prediction markets over here. I'm curious to see what we are being priced at for today. Let's actually see what is even going to be the daily closure. What are they pricing that at? Oh, wow. They're going to be 50% for 77.5. I would actually take the under of that. I don't necessarily like waiting that long for those play out, but I would, yeah, I'd be taking the under of that, or at least under 78,000 bucks if they actually have that, but they probably don't. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Okay, they do have 78,000 bucks, but they ain't paying enough for me to be interested in such nonsense. So Fair enough. I'll be patient over here. Let's look at the hourlies. I've been having a lot of fun playing these, like I've been saying. And of course, I got the show link in the description below as well. If you want to play along and get, I think you get up like 500 free bucks if you use that specific show link. You just need to trade like 50 bucks in trading volume, which I mean, that's basically what I do on this. Again, just fun money, just having a good ha funny time. But yeah, other than that, man, let's get into the actual analyses. Or let's actually, no, we've already gone through all the analysis. Let's go through the super chats, man. Oh man, there's a lot of super chats today. Let me scroll all the way up here. Luffy Muradova, she is saying, "Hi sir, I'm looking for a swing short. Hype in XRP. How do you see it?" I don't. Even though they are shitcoin, I mean, Hype is probably not the one that you want to short because it's probably one of the more strong ones. I feel like you're trying to squeeze water from a rock if you fucking short here. I'd just be looking for the easy long. But look, if I had to fit a short into XRP, I'd be looking somewhere around 155 to 160th region. I wouldn't be holding that for too long because look, if Bitcoin ain't gonna fail, I don't think XRP is gonna fail realistically. Yeah, and I do think XRP probably gets up to 155 to 160 on this rally, so I certainly wouldn't be doing it right there. On the other side, I'd be interested in like a scalp long at around 1.25. I think that's a more interesting trade. You'll get bailed out, just by being correct on the direction there, even if you're wrong in the timing. All right, do it, Wit. Again, appreciate that, man. I'm glad it saved you from a big loss. That is just as important as making big gains, ain't it? Anyways, Areeb says long gold, target 4,700. Let's see, is gold lead? Oh, gold is getting up there. Yeah. So if I'm bullish on Bitcoin, and I'm basically saying Bitcoin macro low is in, do I also have to be bullish on gold? Which I really don't want to be, because I really do not like the higher term timeframes here. I'm still holding on. I'm going to still treat them as separate trading assets. But yeah, to be honest, man, definitely making me think here. Anyways, 4,700. Do I think you're going to get it now? I mean, shit, I would have been taking profit at about 4,500, as you know. But look, if you held up to 4,700, fucking nicely done, sir. You're on a daily time frame. You're looking for a short soon. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a tough one. I want to see what the monthly ends on here. I don't think you're going to get like significant downside anytime soon on this thing. Yeah, unless if you finish this month out below 4,400, which you got 10 days left to go back below 4,400. But until then, I think your downside is going to be limited for September. Wouldn't be expecting anything lower than 4,400 if this month closes above 4,400, basically. Going to be kind of difficult right there, man. But hey, more power to you. You're also looking at silver. Yep, silver probably getting up to that $71, $72 number, which was a target for us. And let's see, daily time frame. Nope, not quite there just yet, at almost $70. So hey, not bad. I do think that you will get up there. 71 to 72 bucks. Probably be thinking the same thing there too. You're looking at 72 to 73. Fair enough. Very much in the same vicinity right there. I don't know if I necessarily want to short that though. I'd be waiting on monthly closures here, because if these things put in higher lows, I mean that's going to be problematic for shorts. Monthly time frame does have hidden bullish evidence, so there is that. You could very easily get an extension of this move to the upside in September, still get rejected like around, I don't know, 81, 83, $85, and then you wouldn't be coming down until like October at the very earliest. So I don't know, hard trade there in my opinion, but like I said, man, you've been doing pretty damn well, so more power to you, sir. Anyways, Freddie M says, UMAC, weekly closure to stay bullish. Last I think we looked at it was probably just good, so let's see. Let us see. What sort of weekly closure does it need to remain bullish? Look, as long as it holds above 27 bucks, which is 26.61, which is your weekly 5 EMA, I think it's still fine from a trending perspective, but we do need to acknowledge that there is some bearish evidence potentially developing right here. So while yes, this weekly does need to remain above 26, let's just call it 26.60 in order to remain in a stronger position. If next week trades below the low of this week, which is 25.07, I would say that bearish evidence is going to play out and get ready for a move all the way down to like 21-ish, maybe even lower. But for now, I'd give it the benefit of the doubt. This is overall good right here. This is very, very constructive. And yeah, the trend is your friend, man, and this one's obviously uptrending, so I'd give it the benefit of that personally. Anyways, Hood as well, weekly closure gets super bullish to all-time highs. I don't know, maybe 1 million. It must close up. I think overall it's fine here, man. But if you're talking about new all-time highs, then you want to reclaim that swing high from June. So 120. I think it's for formality. You're getting a higher low right here. So I do think that this thing is switching around into a bullish uptrend, or I mean, it's already an uptrend, but it's getting ready to actually have a resolution of this range and retest that previous high. But technically speaking, yeah, you want to see a reclaim about 120 before that becomes like a more valid technical target in the short/medium term pertaining to this time from the weekly. Other than that, we got Neil Cotton. He's looking at hype daily. You're saying reject or continue. I don't know. This one, like I said, has been among the better ones for like the last year. And I'm curious, I would imagine it's doing really well on a day like today. Yeah. Again, I would not be looking to short the strongest ones. You know, I really wouldn't be looking to short anything right now. Like, you're just making the game more difficult on yourself. Find the strong ones and buy the pullbacks. Like in bear markets, you find the weak ones and you short the pops to the upside. You know, in bull markets, you find the strong ones and you buy the short-term moves to the downside. I mean, that's just making the game easier on yourself. In this case, hype. This is bullish, man. This is fucking bullish. So is it rejecting here? I mean, you might see a pullback here just from the virtue of it getting toward, at its previous all-time high, but I would not call that a rejection. This one wants to go higher next week. It has hidden bullish evidence as we identified on Caretaker's RSI. This was like last week. This week, a follow through. And I mean, you're already at previous high. I think you're going to make new highs, man. I don't think you're going to stop there for anything other than like a short-term pullback. You know, if it came down like 10% to $70, that's fine. I don't really have an issue with this rally as long as you're above, you know, even like $64, $65. So yeah, man. Anyways, moving on from there, we have Pizza. He says, hey, Krown, check out XRP. Kind of looked at it a little bit earlier, but we could go a little more in depth with it. I do think XRP does go higher here. Like I said, if Bitcoin doesn't break down, XRP ain't going to do it as well. And XRP, not bad right there. I mean, I think that this one goes higher to 155 to 160-ish region, hit somewhere around that green 55 EMA. I think most of the majors will be doing some sort of a move like that. You saw it you saw it on Bitcoin, you saw it on Ethereum, although we didn't necessarily go over it today. But yeah, it is there, man. And this thing, you know, I'd be looking for maybe next week on a pullback to like 1.25. But ultimately, I think that you got more upside to go. Jesus Christ, man, that daily RSI here is among the highest levels that we've seen in the past like a year or two. So kind of a big deal there as well. Overall, I think, again, don't need to make this game any more complicated than it needs to be. Very short term, if you're on a 4-hour time frame, there's some bearish divergence developing right there. See if Bitcoin has any bearish divergence developing on a 4-hour. No, it doesn't. It's literally just a fucking moonshot. I really don't think I've seen... I actually think this might be the highest ever for Bitcoin, or at least in the past like 10 years. We only got back to 2017 on that previous study, but it was it was literally the highest in the past. I guess that would be the past 9 years. So close. Anyways, 1236N says XLE consolidating before higher, or are we correcting? I don't know. I remember last we looked at this, it was good, but let's see what it looks like now. And it still looks good to me. Is it consolidating before more highs? I think this thing's probably ready from here, honestly, man. You know, looking at the monthly time frame is really where I want to be on a lot of these things, especially when analyzing the higher time frames, because that's closing relatively soon. You only got another, like, I don't know, 9-10 days left in this month to go. You got hidden bullish evidence right there on a higher low. You're already at new highs. I'm just looking for this continuation, man. I think September brings this thing to new highs as well. Here's your quarterly. It's a bullish engulfing. This is fucking good. Again, I don't think it's wise to overthink these things right now. If you get a short-term pullback, maybe down to like 61 and a half, but is that even like relevant for you? I don't know. It sounds like you're looking at more higher term timeframes. So perhaps yes, perhaps not. I can't answer that question for you, but yeah, maybe a short-term pullback, but that's barely going to register as a blimp on the fucking radar when you zoom out to the monthly. Rob Bullish says, the Teton Bastard Strangler. I am trying this strategy. What even is that? With crude light. Good fucking luck with that, man. Great premiums. Yes, there's a reason for that. Has weeklies, easier from the US, can cover with futures. I know you don't love oil. Can you look at CL? Well, I don't even know what strikes you're using, man. I'm doing a strangle. Okay, what strikes? Both of them at the money. I think that's a straddle, sir. Anyways, I could see shorting the $70 put strikes and maybe shorting the, I don't know, 105 call strikes, but I don't really want to be short the calls here. If I'm going to do a bastard strangle, I want to be overweight on the put side, if anything. But yeah, man, looking at this, I really don't even think TA works all that well on crude light or crude or oil and gas in general. But if I had to call it, I think you're going up here. But you know, what do I know about this shit, man? I fucking hate oil and gas. 84 Raul says, much hate from Denmark, sir. We need more hate. I'm tired of seeing all this. Oh, here's some love from Canada. Fuck you, Canada. Kidding. I mean, but really, Canadians, they need more of an edge, okay? They're so nice, it makes you, or at least it makes me feel a little bit weird. It's like, what's this guy up to right now? What's up, Peter Underwood? What are you up to? Asti says, Tau Bitcoin. All right, let's check out Tau. I wonder if this one's rallying too. Let's see. It is rallying, but it ain't. Yeah, this looks like garbage to me. Versus Bitcoin, maybe versus the dollar, it's okay. But anyways, you're saying daily pullback to 222. Oh no, then. But if you're looking at the dollar value, then say the dollar value. All right, fair enough. Sorry, just being a fucking asshole as usual. Pullback to 220. Yeah, you're at the daily 200 simple, coming back down to 220 or somewhere around there is fair game, sure. I'm just not bearish on this thing as long as you're above 203. Or basically 200, let's say. And I do think that this rally could extend if things get crazy to like 260, 270-ish region. Do you potentially have a weekly higher low in here? You do, but you won't really confirm that on the greater scale until you're back above these 330 highs. But there is potential for a real reversal there, I guess. I don't know if I'd necessarily bet on it being a random shitcoin, but the monthly kind of, you know, that is a real potential for a higher low right there. So I could definitely switch around to being bullish on that thing, but still got a lot of work to do. Yeah, do I agree with you? 220 pullback, somewhere around there is fair game. Just don't want to see it below like 220 on a daily closing basis. Anyways, cool. Tex and Friends says, great, up close, high definition, and in 3D. Fuck yeah, man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We are upping the quality as much as I can. Cool. Let me scroll through here. We got Devald Devoika says, hello, Krown, INTC, Intel. Yep, full disclosure, I do own Intel. You are asking for a weekly and a monthly path. I still think this thing's top for a long time. I think that this thing is coming back down to like $70 or so. I think this was kind of a bit of a bull trap that we saw in the mid-August rally. And I'm not like bearish on it, like bearish on it. You know, ultimately here's like the greater view on this thing. But I do think that you can come back down to like 70-ish bucks and rebase there and try again to the upside. I don't know, after a prolonged sideways market. But yeah, overall, I just don't think that this market, that Intel is going to go up in any like major fashion and like keep it for a while. I think this thing's done going to the upside and making new all-time highs for quite some time, like many months, maybe even years. You also got this gap over here around the 200 simple, which is basically $70. So somewhere down around there makes a lot of sense from multiple angles. Let's see. Let me scroll back up here. We have Chris Vela next, looking at T-Sucky. T-Suck. God damn it. It's fucking sucky soul. This thing. This fucking thing. Got a chance of going downtown. There's always a chance. It's difficult to call it with a shitcoin like this because you just, more often than not, shitcoin's going to shitcoin and they're just going to fail, right? But this one hasn't gone into like the fucking disastrous downtrend of destiny just yet. At some point, it's very likely to do that, but it makes it very difficult to be bearish on things when Bitcoin's doing what it's doing right here. But at the very least, this thing, really can't rally that much, even when Bitcoin has among the two biggest days it's ever had. This thing not really joining in the fun action. So I don't know. Is it game over? I wouldn't call it that just yet. I think you might get one more rally to like 0.7 or 0.8 of a cent, but I'm not going off of much here, man. So I'm unwilling to say that. I don't have anything that's obvious here for me. I don't see bullish divergence to obviously call a bounce, and I don't see hidden bearish divergence to call a lower high. I see just a random shitcoin that has a lack of history, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't have any real strong opinions with this thing, man. Sorry, I know that's not what you want to hear, but I always want to be super, super transparent when I don't feel confident about this thing one way or the other. Long term, I feel confident it'll probably just go down, but maybe that's a year out. I don't fucking know. Anyways, Vince Have PH8 says NTR. Okay, this is a new one. NTR, Nutridin. Okay. Oh shit, it's probably this thing right here, Natera. or maybe it's a crypto, dear Lord. Weekly reversal, weekly divergence, RSI. I'm on a daily right now. Let's go to a weekly. Well, there's no reversal here. You're probably not talking about this thing, are you? You're definitely not, because it's not even the right. It's NTR. Please specify your stupid fucking exchange. It's probably Canada. Sorry, man. I'm just raging because I'm on day fucking 5 of 5 hours of sleep. These weeks are amazing for making money, no doubt about it. These are the weeks like that happen. I don't know. You get like 3 or 4 of these instances per year. It's where I make pretty much all my money trading for the whole year, and I don't do pretty much fuck all for the rest of it. And during that week, I barely sleep, and now I'm really starting to feel it. So I don't know, probably have like a couple more days of this, and hopefully I get a real nice long night. Anyways, NTR, weekly hidden bullish divergence. Do I call a reversal here? It's already reversed, in my opinion. You got weekly higher lows way back on over here and cleared that 200 simple. That was the big deal. This thing is just a continuation of this move now. So yes, I do think that it is popping back up towards that 115, 120 high, and probably up from there. Weekly, or sorry, not weekly, but monthly higher low in place. As we get closer to the end of this month of August. Yeah, overall good, man. Cool. Let's go back to Bitcoin for a moment. See what the old corns is doing here. Jesus Christ, man, this thing really just won't stop, will it? But like I said, I really don't think Bitcoin's going to get much past its current high of the day. And I think that if we fast forward to like end of Sunday, it's probably here or lower, and we're getting ready for a pullback to open up next week. Something like that would make a lot of sense to me. All right, cool. Ginger Birdman or Gingerbread Man? I don't know. Hiya, hello, sir. Curious your thoughts. Ethereum on the weekly, please. Long-term gold, 5 to 10 years. Well, I don't know. Let me get on my fucking crystal ball and wouldn't you want to know something like cooler than fucking Ethereum if you had a crystal ball? Look. Similar to Bitcoin, you're running into a lot of these major movement averages. In fact, Ethereum's not just at the 55 EMA, but also basically the 200 simple on the weekly time frame. So probably a bit of a pullback here. But look, if we fast forward 5 to 10 years, I don't fucking know, man, because honestly, I just don't care about Ethereum. But just like if you ask me about Bitcoin, if you ask me 5 to 10 years in the future, I don't know as well. I think it's going to be higher, probably multiples higher, but. Like I don't have like a specific price in mind or anything like that. As far as what Ethereum's doing, I think it's going to do the same thing as Bitcoin, man. I think you're going to get a short-term pullback and you get long-term continuation. You're going to see a move up to about $3,000 plus. I don't know. Maybe it's September, maybe it's October, but I think in the not so distant future, realistically, as long as Bitcoin's bullish, I don't expect this thing to not join in the party. This one was honestly looking better than Bitcoin for the past like couple months here. So, you got that, in your favor as well. But as far as 5 to 10 years, I don't fucking know. It's probably higher, probably a lot higher, but yeah, I don't know. What thoughts on next long-term consolidation range? I mean, this is kind of more of a short-term thing. Next big one will be if and when you get to like 32 or 3,300. That's going to be a big one, most likely. It's probably also your 50% retracement level. Let's just double check that right here. Yeah. 3,200, also your last major high before the previous absolutely catastrophic breakdown. So, those areas typically get respected with more long-running, consolidations. Anyways, moving on, we got Manticore. What's up, Manticore? But no message. How dare you? How fucking dare you, sir? RKGH says, Wolf, I'm getting a week 9 count next week. We learned how to count to 9. Amazing. I heard from Tony Bays that you count to 9 and then it goes up or down. No, I'm kidding, man. Look, the Tom DeMark thing, it's fine. It's fine. But it's just funny, but it is fine. It is funny though. It's very funny. We have to acknowledge it is funny. It's a funny thing. You count to 9 and then the market magically goes in a different way. But a lot of the time it works. Anyways, feel like it's being suppressed for big money. Yeah, good luck with that sort of stuff. To buy this volume profile, oh god, okay, we're going deep into the weeds with random bullshit TA. Dailies below all major moving averages, does this thing want the monthly 21 EMA before bounce? It's very likely going to bounce right around here, man. I think this thing's setting at a low right now. Do I think it's going to go up for forever from there? No, it's very likely going to be a bounce somewhere from 14 and a half, $15. Maybe it tries back up towards 18, 19, 20, whatever. But do I think that that's going to be a reversal from here? Not necessarily. I think this thing's a little more likely to actually come down more over time rather than up more. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Know that I'm wrong because it's trading back up about $25. That's the line in the sand for this thing, proving its bullishness. So it's complicated here. It's like in the short term, yeah, I think you are going to get something like this. You're going to bounce off this, boom, bounce. Hopefully, I think it's probably going to get rejected, but hopefully it doesn't, and it does something like that. Yeah. But if it doesn't and you start to see it reclaim like $24.5, $25 on a daily or a weekly respectively, okay, now you got something exciting there for, you know, a real move back up to those previous highs. But until then, man, I'm unconvinced of this one as of the moment. But yeah, likely to bounce soon. Anyways, let's see. Chris Fella says, doggy, daily, weekly, dear Lord. Oh, this is the worst part about the market going up is we start to have to look at fucking shit coins again. Of course, it's going to be going up as well. Oh, what the fuck? Get off my charts, you asshole. You little bastard, you. Biweekly is a bullish engulfing dildo as of right now. Or sorry, it's 0.1 of a cent off of doing that. But look, it's very likely to go up more here. Not monthly, but weekly 21 EMA is at 8.7 cents. I think that you do pull back on your first pass there, which is where you're pretty much at right now. Maybe slightly higher on a spike up to like almost 9 cents is the daily 200 simple. Both of those are kind of like pullback zones, if you will. But do I think it's going to fail there and go lower? As long as Bitcoin's doing its thing, it's going to be very difficult to get a lot of these shit coins, especially the ones that have been around for a long time, lower. Let me just double check right there. Okay, cool. As far as the monthly goes, do we have a bullish engulfing? Yeah, you do have a bullish engulfing. So assuming it closes the month out here or higher, you know, I do think that you try into the double digits, like the shallow double digits in September, something like that, man. Can make a lot of sense. Anyways, Lucas Court says CVE, one moment. And then I see you, Manticore. I'll get to that right after this one. I just saw that comment. CVE, Cenabos. It's a new one for me. Weekly and monthly. We're on a monthly right now. Good. And weekly is also good. It looks eerily similar to one of the other oil and gas charts that we saw earlier today. I'm bullish on these. I don't really see a reason not to be. I think you're going to get new highs in September as well. The question is, what are the areas of interest to the upside? And we could do some bastardized version of this, I suppose. First one, which probably at least gets there, but I don't think it necessarily stops there for forever. If not for like a short-term pullback, is about $50 or $50.25. Then you got 53.88, and then you got like, I don't know, 58.70 or so, something like that. Man, would make sense for this thing. Overall, I'm bullish on it as long as you're above $39 on the higher term timeframes. Just no major issues here. As far as I'm concerned, hopefully you're talking about this thing though. Yeah, you are Canadian as well, based off of your currency. So I'm guessing it's on TSX. Similar thing. Anyways, Manticore says, hey, Krown, what do you think about Bitcoin versus gold chart? I've been saying Bitcoin versus gold has actually bottomed since February, realistically. It just hasn't really, and it did bottom in February, as I circled off right here, but we just haven't really seen it do much since then. I mean, it did rally off that low, yes, but, you know, these bottoms are going to take a long time. I'm on a quarterly time frame right now. So you're talking about a monthly time frame. Monthly time frame, you know, is certainly important, but when we're looking at something like this with the history that we do have, I think a quarterly can make a lot of sense. Monthly time frame has a higher low in place. So if you do trade back above that May high, you do complete the short-term reversal with price action back up, you know, back around the 20 read right there on the ratio. Quarterly time frame, I think is just simpler and easier. You have some hidden bullish evidence developing on Caretaker's RSI. That is how you bottom from 2015 to 2018 to 2022, and very likely yet again here on 2026. In fact, I think it even has the exact same line going through all these right now that effectively connects them all. A bit more of a regression, I suppose, but you get the idea. My point is that this is a damn good place for a macro low here. I still wouldn't be that opposed to it, like coming back down for one more test of that low, you know, close to it, something like that would be fine. But whether it does or doesn't, it doesn't really change anything for me. I still think that this parent is bottomed. If we fast forward like a year or two out from here, it's going to be, you know, like 30, somewhere around there, maybe higher. I mean, it's possible. So definitely make sure to sell all of your coins for golds, because the real job here is to lose as much money as possible. Anyways, JB says, these streams must be so fucking weird for new people to join in. They're just, God, I can just like imagine some okay, CGC like on Korean exchange. God damn it, man. Specify your fucking exchange if it's not an obvious one on like NYSE or NAS. It's probably not this. You're probably talking about Canopy Growth, I'm guessing, which trades on TSX, I guess. But it does have a different ticker on this garbage chart. Maybe it is the other one. If it is the other one, this trades on Korean Stock Exchange, I think. I don't know. Never really looked at their stock exchange realistically. If I had to call it, it'd be going down, man. It'd be going back down to like 800. But I don't even know if this is the one that you're looking at, man. Please specify your exchange if it's not obvious, and also assume that I'm a retard myself, because a lot of things aren't obvious to me. Anyways, Aaron Shaz Norari says, Eric, please look at my 30,500% Ethereum 4-hour strategy. Yes, it tells us it's a Pine script. I don't doubt it. But I have to look at that on my own time, man. I appreciate that, but I will say, like, a return like that, the bullshit detector goes off like pretty hard. I'm not saying that you're bullshitting. It's just, you know, there might be like a severe overfitment of data, but hey, maybe there's something to it. I'll have to look at it on my free time, but man, I got to tell you, man, my free time is extremely limited when markets are screaming like this. Like, it seems like everyone and their fucking mother is sending me messages right now, and I'm kind of at the point where I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm losing my mind. Just let me focus on what I want to focus on. But anyways, I will check it out. I'm just letting you know where I'm at, man. That's all. It's nothing against anyone else, man. It's just me being a fucking, you know, autistic moron nerd fag, like usual. Anyways, Lord Yamcha says, what's a good entry point for GEOD? Okay, GEOD. Again, this shit's real fucking pissing me off, man. Specify your goddamn fucking exchange. Holy shit. Motherfucker. Maybe it's this random shitcoin right here. That probably makes more sense than the other things. But God, this is what I hate about fucking Bitcoin going up shit like this. Yes, it's good right now, probably terrible later, but yeah, it is good right now, to be fair. I don't have strong opinions on shit that looks like this though, man. I just despise these fucking shitcoins. I really do. 18 cents, as long as you're above there, your upturn remains intact. The problem is it's a random shitcoin, so at any moment it can pull out the rug from you, and great. GeoNet. Yeah, this fucking thing. God, man. Oh, God. Why? We have the stock market, man. You don't have to look at shit like this. Short term, I think you're coming back down to, like, I don't know, 23, 24 cents. But what's a good entry point? I would never enter into this, so I don't have an answer for you, man. And also, I don't even know what the fuck you're trying to do, man. No time frames given. What the fuck? Don't do it, as Elsa says. Don't do it. Anyways, sorry, man. I don't have a good answer for you because, one, I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't even answer a question as like where you should enter. And then two, I don't even know what the fuck you're trying to do. Are you trying a 5-minute time frame, like trying to scalp, or are you trying to hold for the next 5 years? Well, if you're trying to hold for the next 5 years, I'd probably not enter that thing. I would rather crawl through 5 miles of HIV-infested needles with Rosie O'Donnell's queef as my only air supply while I submerge underneath the Amazon River for 5 miles than hold this thing for 5 years. How about that? How about that? You're going to make the ladies cry. Don't make the ladies cry. All right, go get your 40x returns, sir. Go get your 40x returns. That lady is like very, the lady on the right at the end, she was very much into it. I think the other lady's like, it's like, are you even fucking trying? Anyways, Rob Willich says CLV 26. Oh God, what is this now? More crude light, or Clover? No, you're not Clover. You're American. You're not trading on, okay, you're probably crude light based off of the earlier conversation. You're probably talking about like a random, yeah, V26. So that's some expiration. Again, I don't even know. Like, just list your fucking expiration, sir. List your fucking. Oh my God, just list your fucking expiration. I don't know which date is V, sir. I don't know which one is V. Okay, 91 versus 66. All right, fuck yeah. Finally, we got some, and I hate it. Oh my God. Unless if it's like an expiration next week or 2 weeks out, I absolutely hate that. You give yourself no room to the upside to be wrong, and this thing is bullish, and you give yourself a good amount of room to be wrong to the downside, but that's not your issue here. Your issue is you have risk to the upside, not to the downside. So unless if this is expiring like end of next week, I would fucking abort this or just keep your short puts. That's fine. But again, do I like playing shit like this? Hell no. I don't think TA has an edge here, or at least the edge is significantly reduced. And yeah, man, you got upside risk. You didn't even short above the previous swing high, man. This is not looking good. Asking for problems, doing it like this, sir. Asking for problems. Not easy to cover. Not easy to cover. It's not easy to cover to the upside because you can get all the way up past your short call strike, and this thing technically will not have confirmed a breakout. That's your issue. So where do you cover? Because if you cover before, then you run the risk of it, rejecting around there, coming back down. Now you're long stock. So you're losing on that. You're not really covered on that, obviously, if your strike is 91. If you would have shorted a further out of the money call strike, like let's say close to like 100 at least, then you could just long the underlying when it reclaims the July high. That at least gives you some room. But yeah, man, you give yourself no room to be wrong here. In fact, you give yourself a fucking headache if you have to cover this thing, which you probably will if you're going to be holding this position for, I would think, even more than a week, maybe even a week will do it. But especially like if you're holding this thing for two or more weeks, this is not, that is not a baby that I would want. Anyways, Batman86 says, good day, Krown. What's up, man? Update on CELH. I don't know. It's been like fucking months, man. Let's check it out. No, it hasn't been months. It's been probably like a week. Good. Regular bullish evidence off this last low. So I do think you're going to bounce here. I think that's what we've been looking at for a while on this thing. Holding a range and bouncing sideways. Monthly time frame also setting a low as well. You can see technically no divergence right there, but I do like this one for trying for a major low right there. All it needs to realistically do is close a weekly back above that July high, and you will have a short-term reversal with price action likely back to like 39, 40 bucks. But yeah, for right now, with that many drives of bullish evidence off the low on Caretaker's RSI, I'm looking for this thing to get up to about 37, 38. So you'll probably reclaim that July high along the way. Yeah, looks overall okay to me for some short-term upside. Back to Bitcoins over here. Do we have an hourly to play? Oh, I think we have an hourly to play. Oh, these are my favorite ones. All right, we are 71.2. Let's go over here, 71.2. We're going bigly on this one. 200 big buckaroonies. I don't like that. Yes, come down to Papa. See, this is what I do on Kalshi, where I have like a very limited amount of money, so I don't fuck things around. That's where I'll do like dumb fucking against the trade, against the trend trades. It just keeps me busy, man. So I don't do it on my actual accounts. But on my actual accounts, would I do something like that? Fuck no, man. That's why I do it over here. Anyways, cool. All right, let's see. Let's move on. We got Devald back. He says Circle daily and weekly. I'm very curious to see where Circle is at today. I imagine it's got to be higher. We were looking at this one to pop back up towards 80 plus, and it is now. Oh my God, it got all up to 90 plus. Dear Lord. Powerful, man. I do think that this one ultimately goes higher, north of 100. I might even be that the low is in right here. You do have that hidden bullish evidence. I would say the majority of that's already played out. Your next area of interest would be about 102 to the upside. Similar to Bitcoin, I really want to see where the weekly finishes this week. Or it's less relevant for Bitcoin because it's so fucking far away. But for Circle, if it finishes the week above or basically here or higher, like let's say above 80, 85 bucks, I do think next week you might see a pullback down to 80, 81. But I think that would be an opportunity, and you do see this move find its way towards 102, 105 region. If this one can trade and close a weekly back above 109.5, I would call this one a reversal, very likely about to confirm, but not quite there. I mean, technically you'd want to see it above this high right here, but personally, I think that would be enough for me. I would buy it off of that. For the people who are more cavalier and bought it earlier, hey, congratulations to you. Happy for you. But in the short term here, really want to see where this daily and weekly ends, because the daily also finding some resistance right around that 200 simple. I do think next week will be a pullback. The question is, how far does it pull back and depending upon where it ends today. So weekly here or higher, I think you're still good for some more upside after a short-term pullback. If it finishes this week out below $81, then I think you got some problems, or at least it's not obvious to me. Anyways, Bitcoin's going to run the other direction, so I'm going to lose all my monies. All my lunch money it's gone, man. Anyways, I need a diet anyways. Getting fat. All right, cool. Venus says Tron, TRX. Actually, I mean, funnily enough, Tron probably doing well as well. This one has had a very interesting chart for like the last year. Yeah, it's doing really, really good right here. Have to call a spade, man. I'm not saying that I like this project or nothing like that, but that is a higher low, and this thing has been objectively better than most for the past year while everything else is down. This one has 3 drives of hidden bullish evidence on Caretaker's RSI as well. I don't know, dare I say it's going back towards those previous highs? Maybe new highs. I mean, that is a higher low in a monthly time frame. That's generally going to be pretty fucking good. So yeah, man. Oh God, you're asking about an hourly and a full hour for Venus. Okay. missing the forest for the trees here, I guess, or the trees for the forest, no matter which way you twist it. You're missing, I think it might be missing something, but hey, that's just me. Hourly time frame holds the uptrend as long as you're above about 34 cents or 33.9. God, I guess it actually really does matter there. That is a whole 1/10 of a cent lower. Overall, I think it's good. You know, if you got a pullback, you know, over the weekend down to like 33.5 cents, that's fine. I'd really be focused on the higher term timeframes here personally. Just I think this is a significantly more obvious chart, but if you truly insist on the hourly and 4 hour, you might see a short term pullback over the weekends. Yeah. Cool. Maury says FICO, first in, last out. This thing, Fair Isaac Corporation. Have to say this is maybe my first time looking at this thing. Weekly and monthly. Weekly, some very bizarre phantom drives of bullish divergence there going on in Caretaker's RSI, and you do have a higher low, and you're on the blue 377 EMA. So kind of interesting setup right there. I guess it's a possible reversal impending. You do have that higher low in place, but you won't confirm the higher low, or you won't confirm the reversal till you're back above that July high at 1410. At that point, yeah, this is pretty fucking good. And when I go to the monthly time frame, I think it's quite strong that you will do something like that. Monthly has hidden bullish divergence on this as a low, and you just put another higher low right here. I kind of like what this thing's doing, but of course, there's as always an invalidation. Unfortunately, it has to be your April low, which is not really that helpful in my opinion, but it is what it is, man. You're playing the higher term time frame, so naturally the swing's going to be bigger. If you do lose that low, I think it's a long way down to like 720, 730, but until then, yeah, about 720 or maybe 700. But until then, I'd give it a chance right here, man. There's some good things going on, and long-term history is quite good, so definitely don't hate that. So I'd give it the benefit of the doubt personally. I mean, shit, man, it's very rare that this thing even gets below that green 55 EMA on the monthly. Only time that's really happened was 08. So if you're in it for the long term, it's probably good value. Anyways, Lord Yamcha says, will FET return to all-time highs? Oh dear Lord, he's doing it. SAR. What currency is SAR? Is that Argentine? Or is that South African rand? Oh fuck, it's a banter person. Dear Lord, everyone run. Kidding, man. Kidding. It's terrible to say. I do not hate banter people, by the way. It's funny. They love the shit coins. They love the shit coins. I don't love the shit coins. Shit coins bad. Shit coins dumb. Shit coins bad for your plums. Yeah, man.
Bunch of slack-jawed faggots around here.
It probably is putting in a low right there. You do have some bullish divergence on the monthly time frame. It probably is going to rally from there. At least it didn't make macro new lows from 2022, so it does stand out amongst the typical crop of shit derps. But multiple drives of bullish divergence on the weekly RSI for Caretaker's RSI. I think you're going up at least to 18 cents. Personally, I think you probably go higher than that over time. I think you probably go up to 30 cents or so, maybe even higher than that. I mean, shit. Like I said, objectively, it is better than most shitcoin charts. So at least there's that. Return to all-time highs. Get a fucking grip. Maybe. I mean, it's, you know, anything's possible, right? If I'm being sincere, anything is possible. But this is what altcoin people think. They think like just because you did one of these one times that you're guaranteed to get back up there. Usually not, man. But, you know, got to keep an open mind as always. To be fair, this thing hasn't made macro new lows below the 2022 lows. So I guess there is some hopium for that. Would I be betting on it? Fuck no. But that's cool because you can bet on it. And I will live vicariously through you, sir. So thank you for that. Yes, it's going to all-time highs for sure. Punani Muffin says CIFR, good entry for a little bouncy bounce. I don't know. Let's see. We haven't looked at this one in a couple weeks, I think. Cypher Digital. Bouncy bounce probably on the monthly 21 EMA at about $14 or so. Something like that, man, could make a lot of sense. I don't know if I necessarily want that, but you will have some natural hidden bullish evidence available to you because you're already making lower lows in the monthly RSI. So I do think you will get a bounce there, and you probably get a nice bounce at least to like $18, $19, $20 somewhere in that pocket, which is a big move from where you're at right now. Other than that, I'm not necessarily confident that bounce is going to hold for forever. But I don't know, it's still like a 20, 30% move potentially. So not bad. Yeah. Would I necessarily enter it myself? I don't know about that, but yeah, if you can get close to like $14, that would be fair game. And where's your invalidation? Where's your risk? 1172. So if you accept that risk, then all good. Cool. All right, let me scroll back up here. I have, oh, nice. We're finally getting people listing exchanges now. Lucas Secord, but I already know Lucas Secord. I know he's going to TSX, so I got you, man. ARE. See, that's the thing, man. Like when I get to know someone over time, I already know what exchange. But if I don't know, then I don't fucking know. Anyways, this thing I do think is corrective right now. I do think that you're heading back down probably to like $39. Monthly time frame. Bearish divergence on a couple of long, wicked rejections right there too. Long term, it's not bad, obviously, but it can afford a deeper pullback for sure. So I'd be defensive on that. I think you're at least going to go to like 41.5 and test that previous low. Probably a small bounce there, and then if it does go lower, 38.5, 39, something like that. Long term, good. Again, long term, good. Like don't get it twisted. This is good long term, but you know, your 6 month time frame could easily reconnect with your 5 EMA, and that's all the way down at $36. So sometime between now and end of year, I do think you see something like that, man. Anyways, Jay Watts says Solana 1 hour and 4 hour and daily. Nice. Okay. We got Solana derp coin. Great. Amazing. Fucking phenomenal. Daily time frame, similar to Bitcoin. It's going to be rallying here too. I do think that you will extend this rally, you know, in the next couple of weeks or maybe sooner than that to $100. Short term, I'm bullish on this thing as long as you're above about $83, $84. Bitcoin pulls back over the weekend. I'd be looking for this thing to pull back down to like 87-ish. But for right now, this thing looks like it just wants to go up to me. I mean, shit, strong. And like I said, I'd be expecting a much like greater consolidation closer to $100. Also a nice round even number. Yeah, I think it does okay here. I mean, shit, weekly 200 simple is also at about 110. So somewhere between 100 to 110 is where I'd be looking for this rally to go to. You got to drive a phantom bullish divergence here on Caretaker's RSI as well. So a lot of decent things. You're also going to have a corrective setup very likely coming into, I don't know, early September. So yeah, 110, I'd say somewhere around there would make a lot of sense. Somewhere around there. Close if we can. All right, let's check out some Bitcoin. Can I gamble some more coins here? Because I think I'm gonna lose the last one. it's not looking good for me, man. Oh, you want to look at a fucking 4 hour and hourly on Solana? Dear Lord, man, why? Hourly time frame. I think this one retests the highs from this morning. It's pretty strong, man. Same thing with the 4 hour time frame. You're probably in for a short term pullback soon. I think it happens over the weekends. 4 hour RSI is just in fucking crazy zone right now, similar to Bitcoin. So yeah, I think, you know, over the weekend would make a lot of sense for like shallow or even medium term pullbacks for these things. And then maybe early next week, we see a higher low put in and, you know, another try up. Something like that could make a lot of sense. Anyways, let's move on from there. If you know a crazy suburban chick with crippling penis envy, gently caress a thumbs up. Beautifully put, sir. The Irish have their way with words, indeed. Lord Yamcha, Lord. All right, I'm starting to like Lord Yamcha. He's fun. He's asked about Solana. We kind of just went over it, I guess, but sorry, man. It's just, you know, whenever I notice someone new here, they need a little bit of hazing, and we hazed you some good. But yeah, as far as Solana goes, I do think it goes higher from here. Again, you know, Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, these things. As long as Bitcoin's bullish, I don't expect them to fail. I expect them to trade up with Bitcoin. This thing, yeah, I still think you're going to $110 in the not so distant future. Yeah, short-term pullbacks along the way, of course, but you didn't give me any time frame, so I have no fucking idea what the hell you are looking at or for, sir. Anyways, Mr. Krown, since when do we sit in fucking chairs? Since I got old, it's a real problem, sir. It's a real problem. My legs can't handle it any longer. But really, it's difficult. It also helps on a week like this week where I'm just severely sleep deprived. But I got the blue. I got that meth blue, baby. That meth blue is fucking carrying me with fucking pixie dust fumes right now, man. Somehow I'm getting the energy from somewhere. Anyways, Andrew Plus looking at Tesla. He says I miss Tesla. Pullback area to buy. If you miss Tesla, then that means I miss Tesla too. Yeah. I still have a core position in Tesla, but I did want to buy it closer to like 290. Got down to 297. That's life. Rules are rules. Looking at the weekly here, where do I think it could pull? Like, it really depends what you're trying to do. Perhaps after you fill the gap officially at 370, you get a little bit of a pullback, but I don't know, man. Where's good pullback on this thing? Kind of difficult here. Kind kind of difficult here. The real question is, where do you accept the risk if you were to enter right here? Well, your risk for any entry here is going to be effectively the July lows at 297. So as long as you're accepting of the risk, then anywhere really is fine. Personally, I'd like to get a little bit closer to that number, but look, I'm going to miss it because, you know, I have my own rules with long-term investments. That just is what it is, man. I think you're going up from here. I think you might get a short-term pullback off the gap fill, but I don't think it ultimately stops there. And if it is going to be a short-term pullback, I think it's just that, a short-term shallow pullback. Ultimately, this thing wants to go back up to $400. Yeah, I'm not. I think she's going up. I think she's going up. A little bit more up. Anyways, cool. All right, Ondo monthly for Lord Yamcha. He's back. What is a Yamcha, sir? What kind of what is your avatar? All right, Ondo. Okay, do you mean, oh God, he's one of these guys, probably gonna be the crypto. All right, we'll do the crypto. Look, again, probably gonna be going up here. I do think you got a decent shot at least a weekly reversal. You got 1-2 higher lows in the making. Just needs to trade and close above that green 55 EMA at 46.5 cents. If you can do that, you do have a weekly reversal. And while I wouldn't necessarily call this thing back up to like $1 plus, I think that you probably have a nice move up to like 60 to 70 cents, which is a big move. Yeah, you got lots of drives of phantom divergences here too on Caretaker's RSI. So if I had to call it, you're probably going to at least pop up in the short term to like 45 to 50 cents. Do you actually close above that 46.5 cent number though on a weekly time frame? If you do, okay, great. Extend those targets up, you know, nearly what, like 80 to 90%. Until then, see, this one is unlike your other shitcoin charts. This one has made new lows, like not great, but you know, probably gonna end up being a popcorn rally. I think best, like stars aligning scenario would be this thing getting one of those crazy wicks up to like 80 to 90 cents. But forgive me for my lack of faith on a random shitcoin, sir. Krister Forland. Hey, what's up, man? It's been a while. It's been a long time. Got a 10x trade with liquidation at 58,500. Sounds like you're in trouble. Would you just let it run like a home run trade to the end of this? Hopefully new bull cycle. I mean, I can tell you what I would do. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's what you should do. Would I do that in that case? Okay, it's not about your liquidation. It's about where you entered, man. It's about where you entered. Because you could have a liquidation of 58,500 and you entered like right here. You just have a shit ton of money in your account. That could be possible. So without that information, I can't really say what I would do in your situation. Yeah. Would I generally feel good about holding something with the stop loss at 58,500? Yes, but don't treat your fucking liquidation as a stop loss, man. That's a really, really bad way to do things. You will end up paying a lot more, by the way, if you actually do get liquidated. And realistically, if you're going to take a loss in that trade, like you should be okay, I shouldn't tell you should be doing this, but what I would be doing is I would take that trade off and either take the gain or loss, whatever it may be, if Bitcoin were to come back down below 69,000 bucks. That's what I would do. And until that happens, I'm happy to be long, but I really want to enter as close as possible to that pivot if I haven't already entered. So something like that, man. Yeah, more so dependent upon your entry, not necessarily your liquidation, sir. Nova Spark says, Rush is unmatched. Best thing to come out of Canada outside of the hip. What's the hip? Is that the hip hop? All good, man. Thank you for that. Just having a little bit of fun today, man. Apologies for the not so well formed or thought out jokes. It's just my bad attempt at humors. Anyways, we have JV next. He's looking at CGC NASDAQ. It's shit. Oh, great. Okay, so why are we looking at it, man? Oh, this thing? That's not CGC. And that's KSC. I sincerely do not see the exchange that you're even looking at, man. It's literally CGC. So I'm not fucking up the name, am I? No, I'm not. Yeah, man. I don't see what you see, unless it's this thing, but it's probably not, because that would be, then you'd say CGCF. So what gives? I don't know. You'll have to let me know. Maybe just give me like the full name of it. But yeah, so far not so good, man. Anyways, we got Kush Squad. He's looking at SoFi on NAS. Okay, nice. For the people who've been here for a long time and already know what exchange is probably on, like it's all good. I'm just raging to rage, man. I'm raging to let out some of the steam from a lack of sleep. SoFi, 3-month time from closing price to confirm bullish engulfing and upside targets if conditions are met. Bullish engulfing would be confirmed if you close above $20.13. And if you did that, you're probably going to come back up towards these highs at 27, 28 bucks. Don't need to make it any more complicated than that, man. But yeah, you already traded below the low of the prior, so that condition is met. You just need to close. Literally the price of the end of September, September 30th closure must be above $20.13. If it is, amazing. If it's not as good. Doesn't necessarily mean that's bad, but you just don't have a bullish engulfing, which makes things a lot easier. Anyways, MP for Aaron Fowl. Okay. MP right here. Nice quarterly. That one is a powerful powerful bullwick. Weekly time frame. I like this as a nice swing low. You still have these lower highs here, so you do have the opportunity for, like kind of one of these quick rejections, perhaps after testing around like $70 for a higher low to swing back down, and then you get your reversal. But this is what I mean when I want to see a higher low first before confirming any sort of reversal. So this thing only has a lower low and no new high. I think you're going to probably test those previous highs and swing back down, hopefully set in a higher low, and then go up for your sake. Other than that, if you're on a monthly time frame as you requested, probably going to do that. The monthly looks okay here. You don't have a bullish engulfing, but you do have hidden bullish evidence baking in there. So if it does finish out the month here or higher, that's going to look good. But yeah, if you want to go by the book, technically, I think that's probably what's going to happen. But so far, so good. I mean, it's not bad. Bi-weekly time frame has hidden bullish evidence. I think it probably does end up, confirming the reversal. But yeah, going by the book, technically not exactly that. Cool. All right. Texas says, sorry, I'm ADHD boy today. It's all good, man. I am as well. So appreciate the fact you are charting traditional. I love looking at traditional marks, man. That's where I come from. And honestly, the longer that I do this, the more and more that I come back to it as well. It's easier. There's better things going on there. You don't necessarily have to worry about, or there's less of a worry about like real, go to zero risk, although there is still that worry for sure. But yeah, it's like you can only look at so many crypto shit coins before your mind explodes. Cool. All right. Hey, what's up, Swanee? Good to see you, man. Good to fucking see you. Andrew Plus says, do we look at ZEC? No, but I'm guessing it's probably gonna look pretty good here. This would be its real opportunity to do something. Yes, beautiful. Last we looked at it it was Wednesday. I said, hey, this thing's probably poised for 700 plus, and it's not quite there yet, but I think it's going there, man. I think it's good. Monthly time frame, quarterly time frame showed the story. I think this thing is poised for new highs above that October 2025 high. Probably going to $1,000 overall, but in the short term, you're going to retest these previous highs from November 2025 and May of this year. Maybe a short-term pullback on the first pass. If you pull back down to $600, that's fine. And nothing below like 550. And I think that really sets things up for a nice leg up, man. This is a nice ascending triangle that's been baking in this thing for the past like almost year now. So technically you would have an implied target, but I can already kind of eyeball it and tell you it's going to be somewhere around. Yeah, it's going to be somewhere around like 1,000, a little bit above 1,000. Upon completion, which would require a weekly closure above 744 and 10 cents. Maybe not this week, but perhaps sometime in September. Cool. All right. Okay, we got that. We got Lord Yamcha back. He says, what's a good strategy to distinguish between a good altcoin and a shitcoin? They're all shitcoins. Or are you anti-shitcoins? Okay, look. 99.999999 repeating to infinity of anything other than Bitcoin in the crypto sphere is a god-awful, worthless shitcoin that has probably no business even being traded, let alone is even a legitimate project like attempting to do what they are purporting to do. Most of them are just fucking cash grabs with very strong marketing campaigns and nothing really behind it. And just a bunch of social media influencers being paid to shill it. How do I know this? Because I get these requests every goddamn day, even in a bear market, every fucking day in my spam inbox. I get multiple requests for, hey bro, would you like to hop on a call? No, fuck you, stop. We're not fucking kangaroos hopping on calls, you bastard. And no, I don't want to fucking shill your shitcoin because who gives a shit? It's fucking garbage. But I do know that, a lot of other people will take those because they do offer some real money sometimes. Like I get it, people are in business, right? Okay, fair enough, whatever. Everyone's free to do whatever the fuck they want to do. At the end of the day, I think it takes two to tango between those creators and their communities who seemingly just don't even do a lick of their own fucking research. It takes two to tango. But anyways, do I think that some shitcoins will be seriously successful? Yes, absolutely. There's going to be a handful of them. No fucking doubt about it. Yes. Do I know what they are? No, I do not. But I can assure you that if you just pick any random shitcoin randomly, 99.99999% of the time, it is going to zero if you extend the time frame out to 5 or 10 years, or even really more than like 2 years. So yeah, man. Again, I'm not saying that all of them are. That would be very naive to say. There are going to be some big winners. I mean, fuck, might be even DEC over here. This thing's acting way different than most things for the past year. So yeah. Yeah, just in general, man, like shitcoins, they do, like, if you really want to make money on shitcoins, there is a way to do it. You got to start with a new bull market, wait for Bitcoin to do its thing, and then you typically get a somewhat easier period of like a shitcoin narrative play. There's like a certain sector in the shitcoin game that goes popping off. You just need to ride that for like basically 2 months, 2 to 3 months, and then get the fuck out, because you're not gonna time these things perfectly, man. You're not gonna buy the ultimate low and sell the ultimate high, and you're probably gonna sell more like 20 to 30% off the high, because those things move so fucking fast that even if you kind of do have an inkling of where to sell, by the time you actually initiate that sell, prices run away from you so fucking far and so fucking fast, man. They are incredibly volatile because realistically, there's no real demand for a lot of those things. So when the selling comes in, when the real sellers step in, there's no real buyers. And so you just see these things fucking crash like crazy. I mean, God, man, back in October of last year, most shitcoins were down like 70 to 80% when Bitcoin had like a 5 to 10% cough. Like, it's just insane, man. It's totally insane. So it's like, look, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. I think that's a beautiful saying from, I think Texas made it up. I don't know. Don't know where it's from, but it's good. That's the way that I look at shitcoins. It's like, yeah, it's really seductive because, yeah, you will see people post incredible gains. You're going to see many people on crypto Twitter over these next few months posting about insane gains, and they might be real, they might not be real. You'll never know, but it'll make you, more importantly, it'll make you feel like you are missing out by not being involved in the shitcoin game, and thus you need to go maximize your risk by getting involved in fucking herpity derp bastard like pink coin, because we need toilet paper on the blockchain. It's the future, bro. Anyways, D-Zark says, hey, Krown, would you look at Venice coin? Sure, man. This is actually another one of those interesting shit coins, funnily enough. This one's like a private AI type thing, I think. And yeah, had a really nice move up here. I remember we looked at this one on Monday or Wednesday, and I said, this is good. This one's putting in a higher low right here. And I still stick with that. I do think that your short-term rally is done, but I'm not calling this thing like down only. I think it just goes sideways for a while. Let me just plot in the most relevant things for right now. Top side boundary at about 1680, bottom side boundary somewhere here, like basically on these lows at 10.5 bucks. I think you're going to reject this on your first pass. You're going to come back down to the middle of the range. You typically do like 13.5, 14 bucks. Trade sideways, maybe give one more try to the upside. Overall, though, this is probably one of the more interesting shitcoins, realistically. But yeah, short term, probably found a high in this rally, probably comes back down, probably tries for a higher low in that mid 13 area, something like that, man. Anyways, un momento. Yeah, JV says it's canopy growth. I thought that it might be canopy growth. So that is on trades on TSX. It's the ticker is actually weed. And yes, I totally understand where you're coming from, because the ticker actually used to be CGC. So, an easy mistake to make. And like, I probably should have just recognized that myself. Overall, terrible, obviously, but short term, I do think that you probably have a nice pop up here in the making. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing get back to like 160. You got multiple drives of bullish divergence on Caretaker's RSI in the bi-weekly time frame. So, you can't really trust it too much on a shitcoin that goes down like this, but it should be good enough to get you on one of these popcorn rallies. So, 160. A lot of them do wick up higher than that, so possible, but yeah, you haven't really seen this thing even live above that 21 EMA since when? Since, God, you got to go all the way back to 2021. So yeah, not great prospects there. Not to say that it can never happen. Of course, you know, anything can happen, but am I going to bet on something like that? No, I'd rather look for something that's easier. Again, in traditional markets, you have an infinite amount of charts to look at, and there's always going to be something. There's always going to be at least one thing, at least one thing that is going to be a easy, or I should say easier chart, and that's really what I personally rather gravitate towards. Oops, I lost my place. One moment. Cloud Debussy says, GM sir, what's up, man? Roku on NAS. Gotcha. Okay, Roku, gotcha right here. Is this the TV thing? Is that the TV thing? Sound like a fucking boomer. Can you imagine all the boomers in Congress talking about AI? Like, God, man, they are just fucking clueless. They don't even know how to use a fucking phone. Anyways, Roku, weekly, monthly. I do like this rally here. You do have a few higher lows along the way. I think it's possible you even get all the way up to like 170 to 180 before it finds a little bit of pushback. But as always, I am very skeptical of charts that just have a nasty drawdown like this. Just personal thing. But yeah, I think you got some more upside here over the next like couple months. But I kind of be cautious around that region. Maybe another pullback along the way too, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing range in this whole like vicinity for a while. You know, after it hits this area right here, maybe get a big correction. You know, dip back down to like 120-ish region. Yeah. Other than that, I'd want to see it after it does get around that region. I mean, I'm kind of making a big assumption that it will, but so far so good. Probably has a little bit more there. Like it's close enough. Why not? Why not just get all the way there? Anyways, and yeah, I'd be short-term, medium-term bullish as long as this thing's above about 140. I mean, even then, like, it's not really helpful, but yeah, 135 on a weekly maintains your current bullish trend. It's getting a little bit extreme there, though. But I think it'd go a little bit more first before like a big pullback, like a big pullback, that is. Anyways, Pricey says, hello, sir, NG on the LSE. Thank you for specifying the exchange. I really do appreciate that. And also a time frame as well. That was nice. And LSE is, oh, really glad that you specified on this one because NG is all the way down here, National Grid. Huh, interesting. Okay. Had to go deep into the weeds to find that one. Short term, I think you got some more downside here in this month, down to like 1155, 1150-ish region. But I do think that you have a bounce there. Am I calling like a bounce to, you know, go back to all-time highs? No. Overall, in the weekly, this thing is, well, weak. So, you know, down to like 1130? 1130 to 1150-ish region. I do think you have a bounce around there, though. Other than that, quarterly time frame is potentially very problematic here if it closes out September below 1170. So again, short term, I'm anticipating more downside, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it absolutely has to end there. You know, it's probably going to bounce, and then if it does at the end of September remain below, very specifically 1174, I think that you got some real big problems here. You're going to have a doji dodo plus a closure below, so that's a reversal. You also have 1, 2, 3 draws of bearish divergence on the quarterly time frame, so big deal right there. Probably getting ready for correction down to like 1,000-ish if that happens. But you know, so far it hasn't happened, so you got that. But if I'm shooting you straight, I do think it probably does. I think you probably get a bounce relatively soon. I don't know, somewhere around there, bounce back up, and then assuming that closure does not reclaim that number by end of September, then it's a long way down. But as long as it remains above, I mean, shit, you still got a chance. So a lot of things can happen between now and end of September, of course. So just be aware. All right, very nice. Let's see, we got Krister again. He says, entered at 64,000, not pulling Bitcoin on 10x trade. You remember? Yeah, man, it's been a long time, sir. Like I said, I remember almost everyone who like at least somewhat consistently chats, especially from the earlier days. He says, so you're saying there's a chance? That's right. There is a chance. There is indeed a big chance. Iggy says, I just want to know what the intro song. It's actually our own song. I can show you exactly how to find it on the old YouTube. You just type in Krown crypto theme. Hold on. You can see my YouTube over here. I just have a shit ton of gun videos. But yeah, it's right here. Just type in Krown crypto theme. Oh, you can't even see it. You can't see the search bar, but I called this one Into the Cave. It is an exclusive track, real trap shit. Anyways, moving on. 773 Arya says, hello, kind sir. The ultimate shitter coin, XRP. We've looked at it a couple times, man. I mean, like I've been saying, as long as Bitcoin holds it up, don't expect XRP to fail. I do think in the short term, you're probably going to get a bit of a pullback here, but ultimately this rally, I do not think is finding like a major high until you get back up to about 155, 160 and test that green 55 EMA on the weekly. I think if you finish the week out something like this, you probably do open up next week on a pullback, but find your footing around 1.25 and then try that move to the upside. Other than that, yeah, not much there. Just looks like kind of a weaker chart of Bitcoin in the short term. Just not as high, but yeah, going back to Bitcoin right here. What do we got? I think I'm going to be losing my Kalshi bets right there. Fucking bad, man. Feels bad. Brazil green mate. I don't know what that means, sir. Brazil red mate. Arif says, by the way, gold and silver likely to continue up Monday, Tuesday, or have a pullback before continuation. Let's go back to them. So more of a short-term thing here. I do think you have a new high on this rally, not a new all-time high, but a new high on this rally, at least Monday, maybe Tuesday as well. But yeah, if you finish out the week something like this, no, I don't think you're going to go down Monday. I think you try higher. Should try towards like probably at least your target, maybe higher towards like 48. It's very possible right there. I might be very wrong about gold. I mean, shit, it's really. The problem with Bitcoin doing what it's doing is that I might have to be bullish on gold as well, which I really don't want to be. I really do not want to be bullish on gold. I do want to remain very, very bearish on gold. Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be going down like in any crazy fashion anytime soon. I think if it comes down, it's going to be an October thing, not even September. September probably even tries maybe closer to like 5,000. It's possible. But anyways, can you check out PRVX for burnt to a crispy? Third top on TradingView, or just give the exchange, man. Wait, makes it way easier. Oh my fucking, oh God. Okay, it's a pulse chain, asshole. Well, at least it's going up. God. At least it's going up. But yeah, shitcoins be shitcoins at the end of the day. I don't want to, the problem is when you talk about those guys as shitcoins is that they clip you out of context and then make you sound like you're super bullish on their shit all the time, and it's kind of disingenuous, man. Like, ugh. Anyways, all right. Cool. Okay, sweet. All right. Mate de Coco, maybe? I have no idea, sir. RKLB. Yeah, this is Rocket Lab, right? Rocket Lab, yeah. Not a humongous fan here. Not great, not terrible. I do think it's setting in a low at $60, but I think you're also going to retest around that low in the short term. You know, maybe like 65 and then try bounce there. Yeah. If we have mods here, I think it's probably best this cycle if we just ban the Pulse hex chain people, the Richard Hart people, before things get out of hand and shit like that, man. It's like nothing good's come out of that. Nothing good comes out of that. Let them go infest someone else's community. Yeah, we went over Tau. Tau, I do think it has more upside there, if memory serves me correctly. Let's see. Mate equals T. Oh, mate. I think you mean mate. Yeah, I've actually had yerba mate. It's interesting. it's like you're drinking a fucking like cup of grass. It's weird. WMT. Is this Walmart? It is Walmart. Not something that I look at too often, but let's go to a weekly. Ooh, nasty. Real nasty. Probably is good for a bounce relatively soon. You're coming into some major moving averages there around $100. Also just major psychological number. I do think you will get a reactionary bounce, but I would not be. I think ultimately this thing comes a lot lower. I think it comes to like $80 to $85. So yeah. All right, cool. Matcha is better. I don't think I've ever actually had that. I just know for a fact that Don't drink any fucking lattes. If it's a guy ordering a latte, it could be a red flag. Could be a red flag. Just based off of previous experience. Anyways, Google. Yeah, we could look at Google. Why not? See how Google's doing on a day like today. Not much. Not much, man. Not bad. Not. I mean, it's certainly not bad here, obviously, but I don't think it's good in the short term. I think you got a range at best. Your range high is basically 390. Your range low is what, like 320. Probably all sitting there for a little bit of time, and long term is probably good. It's just not the biggest winner right now, so not as interesting. Okay. Asian Massage says, plot twist, the 50 mound mags for the G43X are longer than the G19. Wait, really? Holy shit. I have one of those like 35 round Glock mags. It looks hilarious. It doesn't work very well, but it looks hilarious. It's very, very funny. Are we getting any videos from you this weekend? Yeah, man. I have a couple already scheduled, in fact. Yeah, I feel like now is a really good time to do a lot more educational content, stuff like that. So I'm working on new playlists and everything, and some psychologically based stuff, and also long-term investor stuff. Yeah, I'm working on it, man. So there will be some on Saturday and Sunday, and then I'll get into some really fun stuff in September. That's when I have a lot of option stuff coming out. Until then, kind of tying up a few of the other loose ends in my other playlists that I haven't finished just yet. Anyways, USAU. Okay, this is USAU. Is this US? Okay, it's a new one. I don't think I've actually looked at this one, but it seems to be related to gold, perhaps. Yeah, precious metals. I do think you got some upside here, man. And I do think this week's low at 1447 is a good invalidation. You're probably going back to like 18 bucks or so, but you're on a, on NDQ. Oh, sorry. Oh, on that. Yeah, on NASDAQ. Okay. I've just never really seen someone call it NDK. It's either NQ or NAS is what you typically call it. But yeah, I understand what you mean. Weekly, monthly. I think ultimately both of these do go up more. Yeah, monthly time frame okay here as well. Probably back to like 18, 19 bucks with an invalidation at this week's low at 1447. Daily time frame. Already getting a little bit of a pullback on the 200 simple. If you can just finish today above about 16.5 bucks, I do think you're cleared next week for a little bit more upside. Lucas Cord says PAVE. Ooh, this one's interesting. I actually did buy this one recently myself. PAVE, symbol PAVE. Let's see. You're looking at a weekly and a monthly. I do think in the short term, it probably ain't doing all that much realistically. I do like this one for a long-term play, being in infrastructure development. I do think there's still a potential for a slightly bigger correction here to like $53, but ultimately where it's already gotten to at 54 and 53 bucks is not that big of a deal in my opinion. So, you know, take it as you will, but that also means that there's a very obvious invalidation at $53. So as long as it's above $53 or $52.50, I am bullish on this thing. But in the short term, I don't think it's doing all that much. I think it's a sideways market here, and you know, testing a little bit of downside. But like I said, as long as it doesn't break that $52.50 number, okay, fine. You know, let it do its thing, and probably has an okay fourth quarter. See what a 6-month time frame looks like. Yeah, something like that. All right, cool. Let's see. Lord Yamcha is back. He says, which stonks may be good investments 1 year? Oh my god. Hey man, can you just like what's a thing to buy to make the monies out of Bitcoin, man? Like a stock? I mean, look, man, are you trying to return maximize but also have higher risk, or are you trying to minimize risk and not necessarily return maximize? I think both are fine, but I generally like to stay with the boring stuff in traditional markets. I like the big ETFs. I like defense technology. I like technology in general, AI, robotics, and then of course triple Qs. These are all my biggest positions there. And then if I do, you know, singular stocks, it's usually a smaller position, man. And you know, what do I like there over the next year? I don't really hold singular stocks, you know, for that long. I've held Intel for a while, but I would not suggest to hold that for the next year. I've been selling that. What are some other ones? Yeah, most of the stuff that I hold there is just ETFs. I really don't hold singular stocks except for like a couple, but I'm not holding them for a year. I'll put it that way. I do not like that in traditional markets. But again, we might have different preferences in traditional markets. I'm not looking to maximize my returns. I'm looking to just, compound over a long period of time in a more high probability manner rather than fucking punt it all, and bet it all on red or black for that matter. Yeah, man. Anyways, higher risk. Yeah. I mean, like, good luck with that shit, man. Yeah, good luck with that mentality. What would I say for the next year if I had to pick one? I don't know. Let's go down the list here. Is there even any singular stock that I want? I'm not saying that they can't be good over the next year. It's just I'm not in them, so I can't say that I love it. I don't know. Any of these? Almost all of these are ETFs that we're looking at right here on my list right now. Yeah, I don't have a singular stock. I'm like 90% in ETFs at this point. Yeah, buy some Pulse Chain. It's great. It's amazing. For portfolio, do you hold for my retirement portfolio? Well, I actually don't have a retirement portfolio. Do you just hold ETFs or some stocks? Mostly, like 80 to 90% of the money, like the total money in my traditional market portfolio, is for ETFs, and like a fraction, 15 to 20%, I think, is maybe towards singular stocks. And those I'm more, likely to trade in and out of. Cool. Andy says, hey, Mr. Krown, I just found your channel randomly. Oh man, that must be so strange. And was wondering about your opinion about ARB. Oh God, like, do we have to look at fucking garbage shitcoins? You must be new here. You are new here, and that's fine. Pull down your pants. Get ready for some massive red dildos to enter into your Angus, sir, because you are being hazed and you are asking me to look at some random god-awful shitcoin from years yonder. Oh, incredible. Oh, amazing. Oh, it gets even better when I go to the higher term timeframes, bro. This one's only it's only down 94.5%. They can't shake me out. No one will shake me out. 94.5%. I eat that drawdown for breakfast.
How about no?
Okay, let's go on to the next one. Followed the lunar trade. The lunar trade was fire, man. But again, would I be holding that for a year? Fuck no, dude. That was great for like 2 months. Went up like 3x or something like that since we found it. But a year out, a lot of things can happen there. That's a problem with random singular shitcoins. Yeah, to give ARB its due diligence, I really can't be super bearish on a lot of things when Bitcoin's doing what it's doing here. But do I think that this is a good pick? Fuck no, man. This thing has been in previous bull markets and it didn't do shit. That is the penultimate signal that you are dealing with a fucking shitcoin that is going to lose you versus Bitcoin in terms of returns over time. Yes, you'll have your big pops every once in a while. I call these popcorn rallies because they go up and then they go down straight afterwards. And you get sucked into these sort of things because you're like, oh my God, I just saw it go from 25 cents to 60 cents. It can double from here again. And then I'll be rich. I'll be able to pay my rent finally. Mom will be jealous of me. Haha, dumb bitch. She'll be cleaning for me for the rest of her life and cleaning my fleshlight. But they all fail. They all fucking fail. They all fucking fail. They all fucking fail. Which is why every time I look at these fucking charts, man, I just want to blow up my goddamn brains. It's bad. It's real fucking bad. Same shit as Adam, I guess. Oh, they're starting to learn. They're starting to learn. The OGs of this channel, no. But the new people, the non-OGs, they're starting. Great chart, bro. Oh, well, amazing. I can't believe it. It went down so much. That means it must go up so much, right? Because I read on crypto Twitter from herpityderp.com that when you go down, you're guaranteed a move back up to your previous all-time high, no matter what. So guess what, bro? I'm going to be going up 3,000%. Haha, fuck you. Sure, man. A lot of people tried that shit back in 2018, 2020, 2021, or 2022, I should say. Yeah, it didn't work out, man. It is the exception to the rule to get back up to a previous cycle high for any random shitcoin. Very few do it. Very, very few do it. XRP has done it. Ethereum has done it. Zcash has done it. There's a few others as well, but yeah, that's perhaps the easiest way to know if you are dealing with quote unquote a worthless garbage piece of shit or if you're dealing with something that's amazing.
How's that ass feel?
How's that ass feel, sir? The forever downtrend, yes. Crypto went down in a bear market. Absurd. Yes. The funny thing is that when you get to the bull market, it underperforms as well. And if you think you're going to time it perfectly, well, be my guest, man. Be my fucking guest. In fact, buy all of it. Buy all of it on credit. Pump USD, rip to highs or dip. I don't know. Does this one have the shitcoin magic or not? So far, we have not seen many shitcoin magics here, sir. Possible here because it hasn't been around for that long. So you don't have that severe overhead hang like you had in the previous chart where you have like years and years of just fucking disastrous down. But, you know, again, forgive me if I'm going to be a little bit skeptical on fucking pump fund chain, which is like, what? It's just like a meme coin generator. Yeah. But wouldn't be surprised to see it trade higher from here. I mean, shit. This is a time for a lot of these things to have a nice little popola here. But like I said, popcorn rally is not the same thing as like macro reversal into a long-term uptrend. Do you think SCCO breaks out here? Let's see. SCCO. SCO. Southern Copper Corporation. Do I think it breaks out here? I don't know if it necessarily has to do it today, but I think it is en route to do it over the next couple of weeks here. Yeah, this is good. It's really, really good, man. This is what I mean, like finding good stonk charts. A lot more simple than finding like a, you know, down into the right only chart in cryptocurrency land. This is good, man. This is great. Set in a higher low right here on a monthly and a quarterly. I mean, quarterly doesn't even show it. It's just straight up. Powerful, massive, girthy, green dildos in my face and up my bunghole. But I would not say it's necessarily broken out just yet. It's a formality in my opinion at this point. Does it break out this week? I don't know, maybe not. Does it try next week? Probably yes. Does it officially do it? I have no idea, man. But all I can tell you is that when it does close a weekly on new highs above 219 and 4 cents, sure, man, I'd be looking for a rally up, just eyeballing some targets here, like 250 to 280 region. Would you get in the ring with Richard Hart? Sure. Yeah, that'd be fun, man. Let's see. My bulk and dwarf coins are up. Oh God. 1 billionth of a cent. Am I reading that right? Who knew there was Elsa coin? There is an Elsa coin out there. Someone actually made a shit coin for Elsa like many, many moons ago. I'm talking about like 8 to 9 years ago, but I'm sure there's even more nowadays for other Elsas out there in the world. Excuse me. It might be time for a midstream eat. The skunk says average entry at $59,000. Contemplating to sell that 30% spot profit. Metamafioso here as well. Wish we could get more. See you more in that Discord as well. Man, my time is just so fucking split between all my things that I just can't do it. But as far as your question, well, I mean, you're not really asking me a question, but yeah, I mean, if you want to do it, do it. I personally think Bitcoin is going higher. It's not just that I think Bitcoin's higher based off of the statistical setups that we've gone over many times over here. Or did we even go over these? We didn't really go over these. I do think Bitcoin goes higher overall, but if you want to trade around it, I mean, shit, man, be my guest, you know, all good. When can we expect Krown coin? There is actually a Krown coin. I am not affiliated though, but I think it's like symbol KWN. No, Krown. No, CRW. Yeah. Oh no, it's not even there. All right, I guess it got delisted, but I'm pretty sure there was one a long time ago. We need content creator combat. This is Bula. Yeah, man. I mean, we used to have crypto fight night, but I don't really think anyone wants to fight anymore. And I don't even know if they're doing their thing anymore. So there's not really much to do there. I would like to do one more fight though. If we could do it in America, that would be incredible. That would be absolutely, absolutely outstanding. Outstanding, sir. All right, let's go back to the corns, go back to the lower term timeframes. Oh man, after so much fun action to the upside, we're seeing our first somewhat prolonged sideways move. This is it's crazy how fast things go from exciting to boring. But yeah, probably not doing much until next week. Asian Massage says 4 hour 120 x312. Wait, what? What are you talking about, sir? What are you talking about, sir? Let's see. What is this? That is not important right now. And what is this over here? More emails. Oh, my guy just sourced an HK. Holy shit. Holy moly. My guy just sourced an HK MR762 Oh yeah. That is sick. That is sick. In 13-inch, that's amazing. Might need to do that. Might need to do such things. Twitter's been pretty fun this past week. Been pretty fucking fun. When are we going to see you in the Finnish wife carrying come to? Oh, actually, I know what you're talking about. Well, maybe not anytime soon because I don't live there. So there's that. Massage reviews. Well, yes, someone needs to review the masseuses. I mean, Jesus Christ, like these dicks ain't gonna jack off themselves. What is your dip target for Bitcoin? Scroll back to the beginning of this video, but basically I'm looking maybe next week or perhaps over the weekend for Bitcoin to retrace anywhere between 71 to like 74.5 is ideally where I find this one. But at the very, very minimum, a retracement down to the red 5 EMA, obviously not today, and that one will raise up a lot. It rose up, for example, $3,000 already from yesterday to today. So you can imagine over the weekend, it's going to go all the way up to like 73 to 75,000. So I think that's an extremely, extremely likely pullback target. And then it's possible for, maybe a run at the 21 EMA on the weekly over the next week or two. That one's less, less ideal there, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for. Anywhere in that zone is fair game, basically. I'm not expecting like a humongous pullback, and certainly not below 69,000 or 70,000 bucks, even for that matter. But look, that doesn't necessarily mean that I can't expect Bitcoin to come back below 70,000 bucks. Just if Bitcoin did, I would not want to be bullish in that event on a closing basis again. Stay out of Polk County. What the fuck is that? Crypto Rect says RDW Redwire. Okay, Redwire right here. Last we looked at it, it was kind of doing something interesting, wasn't it? Yeah, still doing it over here. Hidden bullish evidence on that bi-weekly higher low, so not bad. Monthly time frame is really the focus on this one. I want to see it finish above the July high at 1282. If it can do that, I think you got some hopium here for another move towards $18, $20. But if you're on a daily and a weekly, a different look, obviously. Daily time frame is a weird one right here. I actually really don't know. Yeah, I always want to be super transparent when I don't have a strong opinion, and the daily I don't have one there. Even the weekly, like not so much of a strong opinion. The 3-week time frame is finishing today. Let's see if there's anything obvious there. 3-week time frame has some bullish evidence potential, but it needs to really finish up here or higher. And you got an hour and 40 minutes to do that, and so close, I guess. Hard one, man. Hard one. Lord Yamcha says, does Bitcoin ever go back to 100,000 plus? I think that there's a high probability of that, probably maybe even before end of year here, based off of the setups that we've gone over in mostly yesterday's video and slightly in today's video. But yeah, as far as RDW goes, for the timeframes that you're asking about, I actually really don't have a strong opinion here. I don't know. Weird ones, but the 3-week and then the monthly next week, those are the ones that make me biased towards a continuation of this move if they secure those closures. Until then, I think it's more of a kind of a coin flip right here. What's up, Flat Smack? Sup, nerds? Okay. Whoops. There goes my methylene blues. Anyways. Last chance to buy Bitcoin at 100,000 bucks. That's right. Until tomorrow. You might get another chance tomorrow. It's very possible. Very, very possible. All right, let's see. I'm going to scroll up here and see if we got any more comments, or are we at the end of this stream already? A short stream. Well, actually not short at all. It's been 2 hours. Man, that methylene blue is strong. Holy shit. Fucking carries me through a night of nearly no sleep. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Grady Judd is in Polk County. Remember the Florida state motto, come on vacation, leave on probation. I actually have not heard that before, but that is great. Can't touch me, war instigators. What are you talking about, sir? Sir, this is a Wendy's. We are at Wendy's at the moment. Please stop with your shit. D's or mate says try to play guess a top and the MM will play guess your liquidation point. God, you're right, but you're wrong. You're right in the sense that the essence of your message is right. You're wrong because market makers. Oh God, it's like I don't even want to get into it right now. It's gonna make my blood boils. Explaining things that should be like common knowledge in this market, but almost everyone doesn't even know that, which is kind of crazy. Reaching Skyline says, hey, Krown, if you're thinking about pullback in stocks at the end of the year, wouldn't that affect crypto? I don't know. Crypto seems to be up right now, or Bitcoin seems to be up right now, and stonks are down. So do they have to be? No, stonks are actually sideways / up. I don't know, man. And maybe I'm wrong. Could also be. Could also be. Always possible. Anyways, Crypto Rect says NTAP turned around before my take profit of 210. Okay. NTAP. Oh, NetApp. Cool. Buy was 165. Oh, dear Lord. So you bought at 165. You were targeting 210. It turned around at 208. God, it got up to 209.06. Jesus, that's painful, man. I think that you probably try a higher low at about 190. You're in from 165, so I'd probably just take profit if this thing closed a daily below 187. Until then, I give it a chance to put in a higher low here. And then you probably get back up north of your target if that happens. But for right now, you know, weekly time frame does have bearish divergence setting in right there. So I do think you try a little bit south first to 190. If that fails, then yeah, I think it's problematic, obviously. But until then, do I think it has one more shot? Maybe. I don't know. If I was in your position, I'd probably just take profit right here, honestly. Yes, the evil market makers, these terrible people that we can just blame all of our issues on. They're bad. I read it online. Amazon said, or Amazon for calamity, sure. AMZN, Amazon.derp. Yeah, a lot of the previously amazing stocks, you know, they're not bad here. They're just not doing anything. So in a way, they kind of are bad if you're thinking in terms of opportunity cost. As far as the weekly here, just don't think you're doing anything of significant interest. I think you're ranging here at best. Your range high, boom. Your range low, effectively July lows at 225. Not much there. I don't think it's bad. Again, ultimately it's, you know, this thing probably goes up, but I think you're going sideways for a little bit of time here, man, with a little bit of short-term downside, maybe down to like 250, 249, 250, play out that bearish divergence there. The game is rigged, except that all of the rules are laid out in advance for anyone to see. And you can see what all those big players are doing. So basically you can be on the side of the rigged. Hey, is it actually rigged? I don't know. Any other genuine investment YouTubers to follow? I don't spend my time watching other YouTubers. I'm not saying that other people aren't good. I'm just saying I don't know, because that's like, I feel like ask me about my opinion on fucking women's basketball. It's like, I don't give a shit. It's not because I don't think that they're not good. Like, they're talented. It's just, I don't care. I also make like a point not to watch other people on X or YouTube. I meet all of them, even my friends, not because I don't like them. Of course, they're my friends. I like them, but I don't want my opinion to be influenced by any external people. As much as I can have control over that, you know, I want to implement that. Again, it doesn't mean that other people aren't good. There certainly are good people. And shit, man, there are times where I'm fucking terrible myself. Like, God, man, it's impossible to be perfect in this game. Like, there's going to be times where I'm just god awful. It happens, man. You know, if I'm right like 65 to 70% of the time, then that means, you know, 30% of the year I'm going to be wrong. That's like many months of being terrible. It is what it is, man. That's why I use stats. You know, I'm not going to be right all the time, but more often than not, it'll be on the right side of things. So, anyways, yeah, I don't know. Are we ready to shut this bitch off? Call it a day. Hey, Krown, how about Fucky McGee coin on the 5-second chart? More shit coins for the funsies. Haha, teehee. So fun. I'm having fun. Yeah, like, where did all this degen shit come from? Like, why are people thinking it's cool to be a degen? Like, I don't think it's cool to be a fucking degen. I think it's cool to make money. It's not even cool to make money. Like, it's your fucking obligation to make money, realistically. Why are people making a fucking identity about being a degen and just like losing money and going like, haha, it's so fun, haha, having fun, right? Yeah, it's like that meme with the fucking guy who's like crying but he has a mask on. It's like, what are you doing? Like, who are you trying to prove this to? You're trying to like be a part of a community to fit in by loot. Like, this is ridiculous, man. This is like, why? Gen Z has become degen Z. Maybe, I guess, I don't know. Which one even is Gen Z? I don't know, man. Crypto Rex says AXTI. I'm guessing Gen Z is like, are they in their 20s right now? Because they are pretty fucking weird. I swear I'm pretty sure like a 20-something-year-old girl was at the what is it called? Like the counter where you check out the other day. And I was like trying to check out my shit. And, I get up there and I say, hey, what's up? Good day. Like, how are you doing? She's just like fucking blank stare. Okay. All right. I get it. You don't want to talk. All right. Okay. Not trying to be an asshole here. Anyways, AXT on the weekly, take profit 190 and done. Nice. Ooh, beautiful, man. Fucking beautiful. Really well done there, sir. But it turned down before take profit number 2. Yeah, you got up again, like $2 away. I do think that this thing does come down lower. Weekly time frame, some phantom divergence right there, and it is just a swing high. And ultimately, this is a range, and you just found your range high. I think you're at least going to come down to the middle of the range, which is going to be more like 60-ish. And probably even a little bit lower than that towards 50. But do I think you're going to break down? No. It's just, do you want to hold through that if it ends up being something like this and you don't really get your next real try to the upside and, for like another month or two? I don't know. I probably wouldn't personally, but to each their own, right? All right, FEIM. I think we got to start to end things soon though, man. Frequency electronics. Okay. Don't like this one. Lots of bearish divergence off of these last few highs. So I do think you're in kind of a corrective mode right here, at least in the short term. Monthly time frame says maybe it'll be okay. Quarterly, oh man, this one's a tough one because you are starting to get a little bit of toppy signals here. You're gonna have some bearish divergence in the quarterly time frame. Monthly time frame will have hidden bullish divergence. So maybe, hopefully, for your sake, it rallies before end of September and salvages the quarterly, in which case you won't have that. 3-week time frame looks okay coming into the end of today, but really needs to end here or higher for that to be okay. Weekly. Short term, I'd probably bet on a little bit of downside down to like, $53 to $55. I'd want to see this one at the end of the month, man. I know you asked about the weekly, so if I'm just going off the weekly, yeah, regular bearish divergence. I think you have one more step down, but the big focus really should be on the monthly and quarterly here. And next Monday would be the like a really good time to look at this thing. But anyways, I think we should, I think we should end the stream on that note. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with everyone on this nice Friday morning. It's been really fun. Neil says, Krown, question. Good idea to short Bitcoin here for a scalp play. What are your thoughts on this, bro? Well, no problem, bro. I think if you're asking a random person on YouTube, I think it's a terrible idea. Do I think you're going to get a pullback around here? Yes. But the question to you would be, where are you going to manage your risk? Where would it make sense to manage your risk? There really isn't a good place here. I mean, you could use today's high, but I don't think that's honestly ideal. I think if you're going to use anything, you really got to give it some room to breathe because this is just crazy moment right here. And, that'd be $83,000, the high from over here. Would I be okay with that risk? Hell no, no. But that doesn't mean that it's not okay for you. It's just, where are you going to manage your risk? I don't see anything that is acceptable right here. I really just don't understand this mentality. I mean, I do understand the mentality, but I really would hope to impart a personal lesson here, because when you try to trade against a trend like this, you're just making things so much more difficult on yourself than they really need to be. You really don't need, you don't get paid extra on your trades for taking a more difficult trade. The easy trades here are finding the bounces. They're finding the fucking bounces. And yeah, you might need to be a little bit patient, but your probability of making out properly on a trade like that is going to be infinitely better than trying to pick a short here, which you're probably going to be right on. But like I said, in terms of like a long-term strategy, this is an issue. All right, last, like literally last one for NG Plus. Like there will be no more after this one because my voice is actually starting to crack. Whatever this thing is, I kind of like it in the short term. That's a 2-day time frame, but can you chart? Oh, URNM versus AIQ. Okay, all right, so completely different thing. I like URNM. Over the next, I don't know. I think you got many months of swinging to the upside here for URNM versus AIQ, but long-term AIQ probably is better. But yeah, I mean, this thing probably has some good upside versus it. So the better hold in, I don't know, over the next few months at least. But yeah, anyways, that's where we're going to end things for today. Again, a massive thank you for everyone joining in. A special thank you to our moderators, Mr. Caretaker, and all involved. And yeah, we'll come back on Monday. I'll do some weekend upload videos as well. Some, I don't know, just more like fundamental stuff and psychologically based stuff and long-term investing stuff. Other than that, Wishing you the best as always. Best of the best as always. Take care. Much love and see you hopefully tomorrow.